Bitcoin is beginning to get boring again. And this is the reason that it is happening because the big money is starting to step in. Well, I got some news for you and a news flash from Michael Saylor. He says that exactly is the case. So buckle up, everyone. We're going to be covering everything in Bitcoin, Ethereum, what's going on in the marketplace today. Make sure that you come on over in the description. You make sure you give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, make sure you follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day with crypto maniacs. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with this chart right here. This is the ETF expiry chart. The reason I'm stepping in on this is because I'm actually going to add a little take on this. But right now, Bitcoin's getting boring, and that's exactly why the big money is stepping in. Michael Saylor just dropped the mic. He said, when the thrill fades, institutions thrive. So while everyone's waiting for fireworks, we ourselves are busy positioning for the next explosion in Bitcoin. The reason why I'm taking you over to this chart is I did a quick extrapolation. It's not the best data set. Okay, so if anybody wants to leave comments, say, Tom, that's not enough. It's not enough data. I get it. It's just like trying to figure out like what an average is. So if we look at the last time the ETF expiry happened, okay, there's an average of about 12 days to 15 days before the major downturn has occurred. And then the marketplace actually rebounded again. So we can look at this chart and say that, from here to here is about 12 days. Then we had the marketplace that scooted up 27%. Same type of thing happened here. It was like 12-day window, 15-day window before the market exploded upward again. And now we're doing it again. So we have a potential to have about 12 days of chop, potential movement down. So again, that's not written in stone because the data set isn't that big. So as the data set is small, the window itself isn't, the greatest window. All right. So anyway, let's move on over to Bitcoin. To do not close below levels that we always been pushing. Okay. The 115,700 is a level that is not going to be respected until 118.5, 118.3 gets broken. The ceiling right now, the gatekeeper for Bitcoin right now is 118,005. That gives the market room to move down lower to other support levels, and we'll be updating all our traders in the pro group or the Telegram group that we have daily. We do that. We got some trade set up, so I'm going to show you that we have going on in that room right now. But right now, Bitcoin, itself is just, again, boring. So what Michael Saylor basically said here was he said that less volatility, means more comfort for mega institutions. So it might be boring for retail, but overall it's bullish. Now he could be talking his book, of course. I mean, he's a huge Bitcoin advocate, but he's not he's not a stupid guy. He's a very, very bright guy. So he's holding so much Bitcoin because he actually believes Bitcoin is going to ride higher. So, when we look at these whales in the marketplace, there are a few that, we could say got extremely lucky where they bought Bitcoin very, very low, cheap. They held it, wonderful. But really, when we're talking about, strategy itself, or Michael Saylor, or if you look at Peter Thiel, these guys are running hedge funds, and they're actually, they have to really think about their market positions a little deeper than now. I'm not saying anything bad about the holders that made a fortune. That's, God bless them. They're wonderful, but you got to pay attention to certain wallets. Not every wallet, you just got to pay attention to certain wallets, good traders. And, Michael Saylor happens to be one. So right now, what he's saying is that this is a transition phase, and from chaos to actual capital accumulation. And this is exactly when the biggest moves build. That was the gist of what he was saying. And I 100% agree. As I said in a previous video, that less volatility. Bitcoin used to have a $40,000 delta at one point. Huge swings. As the marketplace starts to stabilize and this becomes more of an, we'll say institutional Okay, the swings are going to be less, and the rallies are going to be less too. It's not going to be just the Wild West anymore. So overall, it's a good thing for Bitcoin to actually start calming down a bit, and that's where institutions are going to start to really accumulate. Because look, when you're running a big book, you can't really take those type of drawdowns. You got people look at you. You're basically showing your P&L, right? And the wild swings, investors don't like it. They like smooth equity curves. So as this coin calms down, there's going to be a much smoother equity curve. Okay, so as it stands right now, we're watching support at 114,000, resistance around 118 to 120,000. Either way, it's going to trigger volatility, and we're going to be ready for it. We're going to be ready for it. So as I just said, let me reiterate, because I actually stopped the video to get a cup of coffee. So really we're looking at 114,000. The gatekeeper is 118.5, and that could give us a breakout to 120. So like I said, either way, the break will trigger volatility, and we're getting ready for it. All right, so let's go on over to our good old 2-hour chart and do some chart work so we could actually see this unfold before our eyes. Okay. So short term, okay, again, 2-hour chart. All right, we said that we had resistance up at 117.5. The breakout would occur if we get above like 118.3. With the breakdown, we said that if we came down to the lower time, we could actually trade down to the extrapolated trend line support, which has held so far. Okay, it has held so far. But in order for Bitcoin to show any real breakout, it has to get above that 118.5 level. All right, so other scenario, market, if it breaks this trend line, it's actually slipping down to, like, if you go down to like the root of the trend line, 114,004. That would be a warning that if that goes, we're dipping back down to the 113.5. But there's no real reason to panic, okay? You need to pick your trades. You need to pick your battles, of course. And I'm going to show you a swing trade that we had running on Bitcoin in a second that, if you were in the Telegram community. And also I'll take you over to WeX to show you every trade that we have running, total transparency in this trade. So anyway, we know that Bitcoin, loves to trick us, right? We know it happens all the time. So the point that you have to watch right now, short-term trader, you have to watch that 115,000. As I said, the marketplace is not really going to respect the 115.7 yet until it gets above like 118.5. Then that 115.7 becomes kind of a line in the sand. Not a major line in the sand, but a line in the sand no less. The most important area right now is the 109 buy area, and of course, the 107,001. Could we dip there? Yeah, it's quite possible that we could. Now, remember, we said when we opened this video, we talked about after the options expiry happens, it's about 12 days to 15 days before we could actually see this play out. Now, so far, Bitcoin has been holding up very well, and that's falling in with Michael Saylor's actually. I think he did a podcast about it. So, and he also made some posts about it on X. So it's falling within what he's saying, that the marketplace itself, Bitcoin, is becoming more stable because more institutions are coming in to buy the coin, and they need stability to do it. So, as I just said, Bitcoin loves to trick you, and we've seen this before. I mean, if you look before, fake outs were designed to flush out the weak hands, and shorts get trapped. The bulls get shaken a little bit, but then Bitcoin does what it always does. It explodes upward. We've seen it happen over and over again, and we're believing that this is also going to play out in this marketplace. So history is going to reward patience. You can't panic on the downturn if we get it. And again, we're here for you guys. So come on over. I'm doing daily videos. I'll try to guide you through it. But if you want more solid, like, daily guidance, join the pro group. All right. So anyway, Bitcoin loves also to test your patience. If we come on over to this chart, you can actually see Bitcoin retesting patience all the time. All right. Now, every resistance flip has fueled the next leg higher. So the pattern is repeating for the fourth time. Rejections weren't really bearish. They were just resets, and they were setups for the next liftoff. So history says higher, okay? And I'm going to show you the Bitcoin trade that we have running actually in the community right there. We have given them this setup. We actually took the trade back in this area right here. We actually, it was here. We took the trade here, and we got out of the signal. Take profit was right there. We took profits there. Again, this trade is actually still setting up again for a buy down at deeper levels for the marketplace to rally back up to the 118.5 area. So now I'm going to take you over to Ethereum. We're going to talk about Ethereum today. Ethereum has been banging up against resistance for the longest time. That the gatekeeper right now is 4,800. That's the gatekeeper. I'm going to take you over to WeX where we showcase our trades so you can see all the trades that we got running in the community, completely transparent. Okay, you know, we don't just show, we show warts and all here. So I'm going to take you over to WeX. We got a virtual US dollar trade on. We're getting hammered a little bit here, down 153.75. We got AXL on. I alerted to you that trade. I'm going to take you over to the chart right after this, and I'll show you the AXL trade. Hopefully, I still have that chart up. We got the Ethereum long, that's up 52.04. This trade is down slightly, 27, and we're long H bar. You know, we told you about this one for a while. We're up 55.28. As I said, total transparency, warts and all. We're still holding our trades. We're not worried about them at all. We do have our stops in. They're marginal stops. So if we do get taken out, you know, we're not going to have any type of catastrophic loss with these trades. So let me take you over. Let me see if I can find that AXL trade that we have on. Here's the AXL trade, the swing trade that we have on right now, slightly just at break even on this trade right now. It's starting to move in our direction. We're thinking AXL is going to be, you know, a decent run for a quick swing trade. So we got that trade on as well. So now I want to take you over again. Like I said, we're going to go over to Ethereum and we'll check out Ethereum. Ethereum has, you know, cooled off slightly, nowhere near, you know, the buy levels that we have, you know, or the deeper retrace at 3,800. But right now we're seeing Ethereum is coiling for you know, in a tight compression right now, and it's getting ready to break out. So if we look at the weekly, if you look at the weekly chart on Ethereum itself, it's forming higher lows and it's pressing up against that key resistance at 4,800. So the MACD is rolling up, momentum is quietly building in Ethereum. If we clear, like the first level, we got to clear is like 4,700. Close above that, 4,800 opens the door to 5,500 and potentially 6,000 shortly after that. So Ethereum is actually making higher lows while pressing up against the $4,700 resistance. MACD again is RSI is bullish, and we get a clean break above 4,700, 4,800. The door opens to 5,000. Now Ethereum itself, 31.8 million flowing into Ethereum ETFs this week. The institutional bid is real behind this. So whales may be offloading short term, but structurally Ethereum is charging up. It is charging up. I'll take you over to this chart. You can see this a little bit better. We talked about this before. You know, 2021 gave us the pattern. 2025 is giving us the chance. Now, the retest will be for legends. And the breakout upward is going to be where fortunes are made. So Ethereum isn't done. It's just arming the next leg of the run. So the Ethereum itself has broken the 8-year pattern. The downtrend snapped. Ethereum versus Bitcoin just printed a reversal, really, of a generation. Okay, 8 years of pressure, one golden cross to unleash it all. And, you know, Ethereum doesn't crawl out of setups like this. It just blows up. So you got to pay attention to Ethereum. You don't sleep on Ethereum, man. Ethereum, I know it's boring you. And like I just said, what Michael Saylor said, when markets get boring, it's not because they're bearish. It's because institutions are coming in and accumulating. And it's going to send Ethereum much higher, just as Bitcoin is going to go much higher. So don't sleep on it, all right? Now, we also have a very, very good cup and handle formation that's forming in Ethereum. It's a cup and handle that we think will make millionaires if you position correctly. So Ethereum spent 3 years forming this setup. Now the breakout is starting to become emotional. Now look, right now this is disbelief. Okay, retail is kind of asleep on it. It's disbelief for retail, but it's true breakout for institutions. Okay, so really, we got 3 years in motion making the pattern. It's not hopium, it's geometry. So Ethereum is about to show why, if you have patience and you don't look at every small little minutia tick back and forth, you're going to be rewarded for it. It's best sometimes to take a step back off your trading desk and just like say, all right, look, I got my stop in, the fundamentals and the macros are there. I'm just going to let them play out. Macros take a long time to play out. You got to give them time. Time takes time. Time takes time, and that's all there is to it. So we know Ethereum is actually walking the ladder higher. Now, we showed you this chart once before, but in 2018 was 1,440. Okay, that broke, of course, obviously. 2021, 4,000 4,800. That held for a while. Okay, now 2025, 4,000 was the breakout, and the channel is pointing higher now to 6,500. And potentially 8 to 12,000 on this coin itself. So targets are 6,500, 8,000, 10,000. Just ignore the noise. Ethereum's path is written. 5 digits are destiny for this coin. It's a very good coin. There's no reason to doubt. Okay, so if we come over to Bitcoin dominance, now Bitcoin is up a little bit in the dominance section. Come on over here, take you to this chart. We'll show you this chart. We broke the trend line. Okay, it's now Bitcoin dominance around 58.08. The resistance seems to be about 58.50, 58.60 now. So that's where the pressure is pushing down. We believe that altcoins are really going to start to take off once we get Bitcoin dominance down in the 57.5 range. Now, some altcoins are going green across the board, and Solana is the one. It's now pushing around 237.60. It was a massive breakout in Solana compared to earlier this month with speculation around stalking-based ETFs. Solana is one of the fastest moving majors on the board. Staking, not stalking, staking-based ETFs. XRP, ADA, HBAR also catching some attention. HBAR is the one that you should really pay attention to. XRP is having its troubles right now. It's down below the $3 psychological level. But I tell the the XRP army, don't panic, it's going to be in for a little bit more of turbulence. I mean, it hit the resistance level at 317, bounced right off of it, went back down through the gatekeeper of 307, broke the psychological level of 3. I think it's just a fake out. Just like Bitcoin fakes out, I'm believing XRP is a fake out. Now, right now, the main support in XRP, I'll take you over to that chart as I'm talking about it. Kind of silly for me to be talking about it without actually showing the chart, right? Here's the XRP chart. So as it stands right now, we're looking right around, I'm going to say 292. 291 is the main support right now. It needs to recover the 3. And the 307 gatekeeper right there, it needs to hold. It has not. If you notice, this level of resistance at 316, 317 has been monster resistance in it. Now, once it breaks, all the weight of all this stuff that's happened before, say from 318 down to say 297, is going to flip upward and drive XRP up above 325 up into the 330 area. Then it's a new look, of course. There's going to be some resistance up at these peaks right here before we could actually get the true breakout for it to go up to all-time new highs, $4 or something. Let's say that. So right now, if you're XRP Army, don't panic so much. You can extrapolate a trend line. This is only an 8-hour chart. I'm not even going to bother doing it because, it's just too small of a time frame. All right. On the bottom of our chart is all our, some of our trophies that we got that we traded short-term trading. But anyway, so capital rotation when Bitcoin dominance peaks, and I said I think right now Bitcoin dominance itself is being trapped or capped right now at 58 and 58.80, 58 and a half. So as soon as we get some acceleration, we're going to start to see other altcoins really start to fly. Okay, that's why we have our positions in the altcoins. So if we look at alt season 2021, I believe that's my chart. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's my chart right now. 2021, 1 trillion hit in weeks. Alt season 2025, it's the same setup. However, it's double the runway now. There's so much money involved right now. So retail is still asleep. This is how legends are made. You got to be positioned. You got to be positioned in the right coins, or you're going to be exit liquidity in the weak coins right now. So alt season isn't a meme. It's a math problem. So when Bitcoin chills and Ethereum holds, altcoins often explode. So keep an eye on volume surges in names like AXL, HBAR, the virtual coin that we have on. They're showing early signs of front-running institutional activity. Now, they're being suppressed right now. Of course, they're being suppressed. All right, so you just got to take note that the big boys are always trying to fool you. So we're in. We're strapped in. We got our stops in. We got our profit taker targets in, and we're very, very confident in all our trades. So before we wrap up, crew, we got to make sure that you're well aware of this crypto trading community I keep talking to you about. If you're not new, you know about it. If you're new to the channel, I got to show it to you. So hang on, I'm going to take you over. It's the link in the description. You click this link right there, you'll be taken over to the Telegram trading community. It's completely free. Insane alpha trading opportunities, swing trades. We got you covered, and there's a lot of banter going on. I want to say something, and you know, it's a very interesting pattern that's repeating for me. As I'm watching now, there's retail traders in there, of course, and there's some other traders that have a lot of experience, and we're in there as well, helping guide the community as far as giving them trade setups, stop losses, ideas. But here's the thing, when I sat on a trading floor, when the trading room was like quiet, when there was nothing going on, kind of like what's happening in Bitcoin right now. There's banter, there's a lot of fun happening in there, there's camaraderie happening. But when the marketplace starts to take off, either way, up or down, the traders in that group get laser focused. And it goes from banter and joking to seriousness. And I'm seeing it repeat itself in this room. So I'm really, really happy about it because I can watch it. It really reminds me of an institutional trading floor. Of course, not on the size, but actually it's a lot of fun to be in. So if you want camaraderie with other people, other traders, like-minded traders, jump in there, man. It's not going to cost you anything. So if you want to follow us on our broker of choice, right, well, you can come on over to WeX right there, and you get yourself an $1,000 Ethereum position on it, okay? Again, if you want to copy our trades, it's right here. Now, look, we're going to be using BTC very, very soon for some trading. But right now, for new traders, it's offering a $500 USDT giveaway. All right, it's a great broker. It's packed with features. It's trusted by our team, and it's perfect for mobile traders. So it's a really good platform. So as you know, we always showcase our trades on WeX, the broker of our choice that we showcase trades on. I'm going to take you over there again. Click the link in the description if you just want to trade by yourself, or if you join the trading community, we're going to ask you to make a small deposit in WeX so you could follow our trades. But WeX, man, is the broker of our choice. Low fees, fast execution, everything you want in a broker. BTC is also the same. It's just that we happened to stumble upon BTC later before we actually started showcasing trades on WeX. So let's go over to the last chart that I got for you guys, where we talk about the crypto playbook is actually too clean. If you look at the past history, 2015, 2016, breakout, huge movement. 2019, 2021, after the COVID crash, we had the breakout, again, a huge movement. 2023, 2025, we had the sell-off, and now we're here. We're looking, here's the breakout occurring right before our eyes right now. It's too clean. It's the same setup, same breakout, same pressure rising, third time in 10 years. Every prior setup was a 10x explosion in the total crypto market. Cycles don't forgive hesitation. position early, or you're going to chase wicks later at the top. All right, so let's wrap it all up. Bitcoin right now is very, very slow. And as we said, that's a good thing. As far as like, if you just follow what Michael Saylor said, right now, it's not a red flag, it's a signal. Less noise, more build, less hype, more size is entering the marketplace. So Saylor called this at the start of 2025. He said that we got the start of 2025 to 2035 digital gold rush. So the phase where fortunes get made quietly before the headlines catch on. So some say it's boring, and we know better. All right. So stay sharp, stay liquid. All right. Make sure that you come on over to X. Follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. I have one post on X that I want to point your attention to for all of you that are holding ADA. Cardano holders can now lend ADA for a massive 41% yield. So check out this post. Make sure if you have ADA, and you're holding long term, this is really, really something for you. I mean, where are you going to get a 41% yield? Nowhere. It's an incredible deal. All right. So as I said, make sure you follow us on X. Make sure that you like and subscribe our video. If you found it useful, leave some comments for me. I really appreciate the comments. I read every one of them. I love the naysayers as well. If you're a bear, tell me about it. If you're holding other coins that you want us to actually look at, make sure that you leave it in the comments. All right. So what do you got to do? Well, you got to make sure that you think about joining our pro group. Second thing you got to do is you got to do your own research. I am just a trader. I am not a financial advisor. Even those guys stink, though. But really, you should do your own research and make your own trades. Stick to your plan, and of course, always as a short-term trader, enjoy the party. Dance near the door. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.